Now is the time, actually, to give out some awards. I'll be doing the talking. These guys will be handing out the awards. You may be at your table saying, wait, that's not fair. Jim, why don't you hand out the awards? Well, some of you may remember that 3 years ago, during a presentation similar to this, I broke one. It is now known as the darkest moment in chamber history. So, Mr. Rumler pointed out and put it in my contract that I'm not allowed to touch the hardware. So, I'm just a pretty face reading words.
Let me get this from you. Thank you.
A really important part of the work the Chamber does is to help grow, retain, and attract businesses in the region. Since its inception, the Chamber, along with regional partners, has worked roughly, get this, 70 deals. They've resulted in $1.2 billion in new capital investment, and perhaps just as important, if not more important, created 8,400 jobs. This year, the Chamber is presenting an Economic Development Project of the Year award to a company that underwent a significant expansion. I'd like to welcome Nandu Srinivasan from Arconic to the stage to accept the 2017-2018 Quad Cities Economic Development Project of the Year award. For 2 years, Arconic, Chamber staff, and regional partners at the city and county level worked to bring this plant expansion to the Quad Cities. It was a competitive project with other Arconic and Alcoa locations, and our community was able to bring together state and local resources, as well as showcase our existing workforce and supply chain to bring this deal and its $162.5 million investment to the Quad Cities. Thank you, Arconic.
Again, appreciate it. Hey, Nandu. Nandu, do you want to go the way?
Every year at the Chamber's annual meeting, we present the Q 2030 Award to recognize people, businesses, and organizations that demonstrate the collaborative spirit that is advancing Q 2030. This year, the Quad Cities Chamber and many community partners through Q 2030 organized what was called the Quad Cities Big Table, and a lot of you were probably participants in it because 5,000 people throughout the region got together in small groups to talk about how they as citizens could create a more dynamic Quad Cities. Perhaps just important, we truly became a more connected community as new relationships were created and will probably foster in the years to come. Before we present this award, I'd like to recognize a few of the volunteers that were so significant in its success, and I'd like them to stand, please. Aliza Singh, you do so much for the community. Tracy White, Tar Macias, Kelly Thompson, Beth and Sean Cousin, Decker Plain, and Mara Sovi. Thank you so much for what you did with the Big Table this year. And of course, we couldn't have done it without the participants, so if you took part in one of the big tables, please stand and get the recognition you deserve for helping the Quad City community. Don't be shy, stand right now. Thank you very much. You are definitely a big reason why the Big Table was such a success. Now, this year's Q 2030 Award goes to our local media, who came together to support this initiative and ensure that the broader community was informed and was invited to participate. I'd like to welcome members of our local media to the stage to accept this year's Q 2030 Award. Will representatives from WHBF, KWQC, WQAD, KLJB, On Media, Ola America, Quad City Times, The Dispatch Argus, WQPT, WVIK, and Town Square Media, please come to the stage, and thank you very much for the contributions that you gave to make sure this was a success.
How do we build a more connected,
stronger,
and inclusive community?
Can we make a difference?
Can I make a difference?
So let's start by listening.
Crossing boundaries.
Understanding who we are.
As a group and as individuals.
The power of conversation starts with all of us.
And just 1 hour.
With people we know.
with people we don't know.
Like me.
Like me.
Como yo.
Like you.
Let's talk.
On behalf of Kent Pilcher, Steve Balls, and myself, the three tri-chairs of Q 2030, I'd like to personally thank the media for their display of collaboration for the greater good. It's highly unusual that competing media in the same market would come together and sponsor the same cause the way our local media did. These media partners were central to the success that was the Quad Cities Big Table 2018. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jim, give me that award back. It's a beautiful award. Whoa! Nobody saw that joke coming. On the stage and just as quickly off. As Paul stated earlier in the program, volunteers are crucial to the Quad Cities Chamber, and now we're going to recognize this year's Volunteer of the Year. We all know that the Rock Island Arsenal is a crucial part of our economy with a billion-dollar impact on this economy. Securing the Rock Island Arsenal in the region is a priority of the Chamber. This year's Volunteer of the Year is Scott Lohman. Scott, please join us on stage. Tell you a little bit about Scott. He's been actively engaged with the Rock Island Arsenal and military community for the past 15 years. He serves as the chair of the Military Affairs Council, the Quad Cities Defense Alliance, is active with the local association of the United States Army chapter, and for years has given countless hours to support Rock Island Arsenal-related events, from changes of command to meetings, ribbon cuttings, and more. In the world of military advocates and stakeholders, get this, it is rare that someone with no prior connection to the military would be so invested in the work of supporting the Arsenal, and he does it purely for the significant community impact. Thank you for everything you do, Scott Lohman. Finally, it's time to announce the Business of the Year award. The Chamber received a great mix of applications representing businesses big and small, those that are established as well as those that are new. Our Business of the Year, get this, is just 3 years old, has fewer than 20 employees, yet in the past 24 months they've experienced 400% growth and has expanded into 16 markets. This year's Business of the Year is TapOnIt. We decided to have her sit about as far back as possible, so if we can continue like a rolling applause. This is significant for a company that, as I said, is just 3 years old and has expanded in such an amazing way. So we are very, very happy to give this to TapOnIt. The pictures are the best part of the show, right? Did you want to say a few words?
I really do. Sorry.
Can I hold that for you?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just, first of all, have to say how incredibly surprised and honored we are to have won this award. I need to recognize that my business partner and sister, Sarah Costello, is not here with us today because she's out launching our first Colorado market. So she's going to be bummed that she's not here. I need to thank my team. We've, over the past 3 years, built an amazing team, and we wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. So thank you. Some of them are here today. And I need to thank my family. My kids have been incredibly supportive of this. They've been excited. They've been proud. My mom has made it so that I've been able to travel and build a company, which has been amazing. And I need to thank the Quad Cities, the businesses that have supported us, our investors who believed in my crazy idea enough to give us money, and the business owners here who have advertised with us. And if you haven't advertised with us, just call me. And also the community members who subscribe to TapOnIt. We have over 51,000 people now who receive our offers and promotions. And thank you to the Chamber. it was a year ago at this exact meeting that we had a life-changing experience. We had the opportunity to meet with Bon and Bao after he gave his speech about how important text message marketing is. And after that, we got to spend some time with him, and since then, we've become great friends, and we're working on a few things together. But he was part of the reason that we went to New York last December. And when we left New York, we had a $2 million investment from New Media Investment Group, and a partnership that has allowed us to expand over these 16, going on 30 markets by the end of this year. So thank you to everyone, and thank you to the Chamber for providing such amazing opportunities like this. Networking like this is completely priceless, and we wouldn't be where we are right now without it. So thank you.